welcome to Giants Battlegrounds, a new show where Giants content creators, Giants fans, or anyone, any football fans want to come in and debate any topic on the New York football Giants. I'm your moderator tonight, Coach Ed, and tonight we're going to have Big Pat Sports Talk debating unpopular opinion sports, also known as NYG22. Today's topics, we're going to be debating who should the New York football Giants draft at number 5, Sonny Styles or Arvell Reese. Also, we're going to be debating should the New York football Giants trade Kayvon Thibodeaux. So we have that, and I'm going to go over the ground rules for you. But before we get into that, also, everyone, make sure you tap in to into the chat to let us know after each segment who you feel won. So if you feel it's Big Pat Sports Talk, you'll say on segment 1 he won in reference to the Styles and the Reese debate, or if it's NYG. Same goes for the Kayvon Thibodeaux trade talk. But let's get into the rules and then how it's going to be formatted. Now, in terms of the rules, you're going to have number 1, no interruptions during the time your opponent is speaking. There is a timer, and I'll go into that in a few minutes. So, as the opposition, you cannot interrupt and you cannot talk. No personal attacks or excessive profanity. Your mic must be off when your opponent's turn is to talk. A player can ask for a time check or give up their time during any round. Also, I'm going to give a 1-minute time check, so this way they both know that they have a minute so to wrap it up. Now, in terms of the rounds for each debate segment, there's going to be an intro argument for 7 minutes each. There is a rebuttal segment for 5 minutes each, and then the final closing arguments for 3 minutes each. So that's the format on how this is going to go. So, guys, are you ready?
Man, I've been ready to debate this dude, man. He's been talking noise the whole week,
Let's
man.
go.
He's been waiting to debate this whole time, so I'm finna show you black and mild Pat, man, because this is black and mild Pat when it comes to debates. So this is my brother, but he's not my brother right now.
All right.
Gloves is
so
off.
there you have it. Well, go ahead, NYG. What were you saying?
I said gloves is off. I'm gonna come with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna bring the facts, bring the information. Just listen to the information, make your judgment.
All right. So there you have it. Also, one last thing that I did forget. Even once the show is over, you can come back and you can let us know in the comment section your thoughts on each segment. So there you have it. So we're going to go ahead, and who's going first in the debate argument in this first debate?
I respect my elders, so I'm gonna let my elder, my brother, go first.
It don't matter, man. It really don't matter.
We're gonna let unpopular opinion sports go first. So the argument is going to be who should the New York Football Giants draft at number 5, Arvell Reese or Sonny Styles. So, and your argument is for which side, NYG?
I'm gonna argue for Arvell Reese on this one.
All right then. So there you have it. We're set. I have the timer here. So NYG, you're gonna get up. You're up. You ready?
I'm ready, bro.
All right. I'm starting the timer now.
Round 2. Round 1. Fight.
All right, man. Check it out. So, Arvell Reese, right? Arvell Reese versus Sonny Styles. Now, I'm not necessarily gonna argue against taking Sonny Styles more as I'm gonna argue for taking Arvell Reese. First of all, and we're gonna get into this in the next debate, you got the Kayvon Thibodeaux situation. You know, so you don't know what you're gonna do with Kayvon Thibodeaux. And honestly, Arvell Reese is a way better player, in my opinion, or has way more upside than Kayvon Thibodeaux. Now, at Ohio State, Arvell Reese, 69 tackles, 34 solo, and he had 6.5 sacks. Now, people talking about Sonny Styles, but Arvell Reese can play the middle linebacker position as well. And it gives you flexibility with Abdul Carter and having Arvell Reese and Brian Burns out there. Now, I don't know about Sonny Styles' ability to necessarily play edge, but Arvell Reese can do both. That's what I do know. Now, let's bring up a little bit of evidence here. We're going to go to PFF. Let me get my share screen up. All right, so we're looking at the total snaps, 529 snaps. Am I up? Yeah, there we go. So we're looking at the total snaps, the run defense snaps, pass rush snaps. Now, I want to get to, where is it at? Hang on, give me 1 second. Oh, I gotta go to the other page. Give me 1 second, y'all. I got time. How much time I got, Coach? Is Coach there?
Sorry, it's 4 minutes and 10 seconds.
Okay, there we go. Cool. Plenty of time. So, these are the game by game stats. And I just want to show some stats based on some of the games that he played. Texas, big game. He had a big win there. Dude came up, 9 total tackles, 5 assists, 1 sack. Versus Illinois, number 17, had 9 total tackles, 1.5 sacks. Penn State, another big time team, 12 tackles, 1 sack. So my point being is big time players show up in big time games. Now, Arvell Reese is one of those chess pieces, like how people were talking about Caleb Downs. You know, he is a weapon that can be used in multiple spots. Now, the New York Giants, right? Let me take the share screen off for now. Where we at? So the New York Giants, right? With this new defense, they're going to be playing. They're going to need people that can play multiple positions. Denard Wilson needs flexibility in an attacking style defenses with the New York Giants plan to put out on the field. This is one of the chess pieces that you need. And just think about the combination of different ways you can use him and Abdul Carter at the same time on the field together. Now, here's the other thing. You do have Brian Burns. We don't know how long Brian Burns and Abdul Carter are going to be here. But remember what the Giants used to do. They used to keep pass rushers coming through the pipe. The Giants are a pass rush team. They draft pass rushers. They don't draft middle linebackers. I got the 4 right here. Linebackers. You can argue LT with you if you want to. Was LT a true middle linebacker, or was he more like a Arvell Reese? And then you got Carl Banks. I give you that one. And then a guy named Jim Fowles and Brad Van Pelt. That's it. That is it. They don't draft linebackers, bro, in the first round. They don't. And I don't expect them to here. But edge, you already know. You know where the list just goes on and on and on. From the JPPs, the Michael Strahans, et cetera, et cetera. So it's not necessarily about Sonny Styles' ability to play. I think dude's a damn good player. And I know my bro gonna have a hell of an argument for him. But it's more about the New York Giants and what the New York Giants are about. That's getting after the quarterback. This dude shows it in big time games. Arvell Reese, a big time player. Now, one more thing. Let me see. What's the time, Coach? Is Coach there? Okay.
Yeah, it said 10 seconds. Your time is up.
Oh, I didn't hear you.
Okay.
Did you not have Coach on the screen? It's all good or whatever. But I was just gonna say Arvell Reese's combine numbers, but I'll get to it in the rebuttal round. You got it, Pat.
All right, so I'm glad we got this debate format. And this debate format is to go not of assumptions of what the Giants have done in the past. This is about what the Giants need to do right now. And from what all I've heard from my brothers, Coach, NYG, everybody saying we need a middle linebacker on this team because we got people like Micah McFadden and Bobby Okereke. Well, now we got a guy and Sonny Styles who destroyed the combine. And if you want to get into who came up big in big games, it was Sonny Styles when they played Indiana. When they played Indiana, he had 12 tackles, 5 assists, and he was getting after it all over the field that game. He was shooting gaps, he was making tackles, and that's what he does. That's who Arvell Reese is, man. This guy's a middle linebacker, and we need a middle linebacker to put on the field with somebody like a Brian Burns, a Dexter Lawrence, a Kayvon Thibodeaux, Abdul Carter, and then you add Sonny Styles to that? What you gonna do to stop with all those wolves on the field? If you got Sonny Styles and Abdul Carter playing the middle linebacker position when they put in Thibodeaux and Brian Burns and Dexter Lawrence, do you know the middle gap blitzes that we can run with these two dudes? Yeah, I get it. Arvell Reese is good. You see Arvell Reese right there. He's on the screen. But this guy right here, Sonny Styles, this is the dude that was the cleanup man. If you compare their snaps at middle linebacker, Sonny Styles had double the snaps at middle linebacker. We got edge rushers. We got 3 edge rushers. Abdul Carter, Brian Burns, and Kayvon Thibodeaux. So if you're able to keep all those guys, you need a middle linebacker. And guess what John Harbaugh needs for his defenses to succeed? A middle linebacker. Should I say Ray Lewis? Should I say CJ Mosley? Should I say Roquan Smith? And they had my boy that's over there with the Pittsburgh Steelers, Patrick Queen at one point. He needs a middle linebacker to go out there with that green dot and shoot those gaps and make those tackles that Dexter Lawrence is creating. when Kayvon Thibodeaux showed that he could hold the edge in the run game, guess who's going to be there to clean it up? Sonny Styles. Now, Avril Reese can't play the middle linebacker position. This is not a shot at Avril Reese. He's a dope candidate. If we get him, I will still be excited. But you got a middle linebacker that's running a 4.46 at 6'5", 244 pounds with a 43-inch vertical. If you put him in the middle of the field, those layered throws to those tight ends and stuff, that kind of stops. And guess what? Even on top of that, he played safety for his first year before Caleb Downs came. Guess what? He's good in coverage. He's good in zone. All those players with those running backs are getting those catches and getting those yards after the catch, and can't nobody seem to be there to make a tackle. Sonny Styles is there. And guess what? He brings the thunder when he comes too, because I watched the film. This man was running through offensive guards to get to the running back. So imagine a team that has a Abdul Carter, a Kayvon Thibodeaux, Brian Burns, a Dexter Lawrence, Alexander, Ricky Seals, Anderson. And people forget we still got the dude from the Cowboys ghosting. We could have the front seven from hell. And guess what? When these teams are getting into 2nd and 9, 3rd and 8 consistently because you can't run the ball against us anymore. Guess what? Now Brian Burns, 16 sacks, and we couldn't stop the run. Imagine what Brian Burns can do when we can stop the run. Imagine what Abdul Carter can do when we can stop the run. Now I can put Abdul Carter on one edge, Brian Burns on one edge, Kayvon Thibodeaux at one end, Dexter Lawrence at the nose, Alexander at one end, Sonny Styles in the middle of the field. Man, let's get it. This dude brings so much versatility to this team that we can do whatever we want on defense. Whatever we want. That's why I want Sonny Styles over Avril Reese. Because Avril Reese, even though he has played middle linebacker, Avril Reese is like NYG said, is more of the Lawrence Taylor mode. We got a couple of guys in that LT mode. And this is not saying we have LT, so don't take that out of context. We have LT type players that's on the field, and Brian Burns and Abdul Carter and Kayvon Thibodeaux that can play that edge. We need a middle linebacker on this team. I cannot go another season with Michael McFadden and Brian Okereke or the guys in the middle that's got to protect. I can't do it. Coach, how much time do I have left?
1 minute, 30 seconds.
Oh, man, I'm cooking. I still got a minute 30. Go look at that man's combine and go look what that man did on the field at Ohio State. And go look at the leader that he is, because instead of being selfish, he said, you know what? Y'all want to go get Caleb Downs from Alabama? I'll go to linebacker. I'll bulk up, and I'll still be a superstar. Guess what? It turned out for the best, because now you had those two monsters in Reese and Sonny Styles with Caleb Downs back in the minute. So John Harbaugh, look at what he does with the middle linebacker position on all the teams that he coached over there with the Ravens. He always had somebody in the middle of the field. And I don't believe he can run the defense that he wants to run if he doesn't have that guy that commands respect at the middle linebacker position. We got edge rushers. We got defensive tackles. We need that middle linebacker, man. Go get Sonny Styles at 5 if he makes it to 5, because based on what he did at the combine, it was historic. It was. And for him to be 6'5", 244 plus, what are we always saying? We're the little giants right now, but man, you get him, he is a giant. Literally a giant. This dude had better combine numbers than the safety that he had over there, and everybody knows who that safety is.
Time's up. All right, there. So there you have it, the first round. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the rebuttal round. Unpopular Opinion Sports is up. I've set the 5 minutes for him. So are you ready? Are you muted? I think you're still muted. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay.
Let's
Your
go.
time starts now.
Round 2. Fight.
Very good argument. I must give you that. But here's the thing. We're talking about taking this linebacker at 5. You talking about Baltimore, right? Let's go to Baltimore's history. Exhibit A. So, they did take Patrick Queen. I give you that. At 28. And CJ Mosley at 17. So, a dude named Courtney Upshaw at pick 35. So, it's not necessarily in the Ravens' recent history. I'm just going this history right here, right? Because we dealing with John Harbaugh. We're not talking about the old Ravens. Remember, Brian Billick was the coach back then. So that's that. Let me get back to it. Where the big screen, as they say. So that is that. And to be honest with you, think about this. How are the New York Giants going to actually play defense? You know, are they going to have a lot of people getting after the passer? Because remember, that's how Baltimore wins too. It's about pass rushes, not necessarily about middle linebackers being taken at 5, because you got to understand the Giants don't do it. Neither have the Ravens done it. This league values edge over the middle linebacker spot. That's just is what it is. It ain't nothing against Sonny Styles at all. But we talking about the position and where you taking them at. And you have a guy not only that gives you more pass rush upside, that you might have to replace one of your edge rushers because he may be on the trade market or may be leaving. Let's think about that too. We might not have all 3 edge rushers here. Then the edge, Arvell Reese, to pair him, like I said, with Abdul Carter. Now, remember, John Harbaugh's defense values the back end and edge, I believe, when looking at their history, DBs over middle linebackers. I'm giving you the evidence. I'm not up here I'm showing you the facts about where these guys get drafted and who. Because you're talking about the Ravens, so I gave you Giants history, and then I gave you Ravens history, and I gave you your man John Harbaugh's history about who he drafts in the first round. These middle linebackers, bro.
1 minute.
Cool. These middle linebackers, while great, 5 is rich. Trade down option, maybe. But 5 is rich. But for an edge who people are, there we go, generational, right? And it never stopped the Giants before from going back to back. Remember, they did it with Matthias Kiwanuka. So we just took an edge argument. You can't make that one either. Take Arvell Reese if he's there at 5. That's the better player. And it's the pick that's gonna have the most impact. I'm done.
All right. So there you have it. Next up is Big Pat Sports Talk.
Coach.
Muted.
Yeah, thank you, Coach.
All right, your time starts now.
All right, and the time is now. Thank you for giving me that bar in the beginning of my rebuttal, Coach. The time is now. You know, I'm debating a man that throughout his history has told me when you continue to do the same things, you're repeating history. And it's time to change that. What's the main thing that NYG you always say? Man, you got to make a change. You can't keep doing the same things over and over and over and over again. Guess what? It's time for the Giants to change. It's time for them to take a middle linebacker high now. You already got your edge rushers. You got 3 of them. You keep your 3 edge rushers and you add that middle linebacker to those 3 edge rushers and you build yourself a front 7 that, like I said, can be held against any team. Now, I understand that Brian Billick was the one that was picking, you know, those middle linebackers and, you know, the Ray Lewises and the Jamie Sharpers and the Peter Bullwares and all those guys. I get it. But John Harbaugh wants to come here and win, correct? John Harbaugh wants to, you know, correct the things that they say that he was doing wrong over there in Baltimore. And the main thing that he's missing with this defense is a middle linebacker. It's the main thing that you're missing. So why not get your middle linebacker at 5? I know it's high, but are we gonna call and we gonna talk about positional value now? Is that where we go? Positional value? That's not in my vocabulary. If you're good, you're good. I wouldn't care if it was an offensive lineman that was the best at right there, or if it was REESE at number 5 that was the best at that position. Take them. But right now, I'm talking about Sonny Styles that brings a middle linebacker tenacity that we haven't had since who? Maybe Antonio Pierce? When's the last time we had a middle linebacker that people were like, yeah, that's that dude? And even Antonio Pierce wasn't even considered like that. So if you really want to be cold with it, maybe Jesse Armstead. Shout out to him. He might be a hidden hero here soon. No, let's take it a little bit further. Let's go back to Harry Carson. That's the last time you had a linebacker in the middle of that field that commanded respect by his peers, by the league, and everybody was like, yeah, Hall of Fame talent. It's the last time you had it, back when we had, guess who? LT. And the other guy with the glasses, who we had on the other side. So maybe we need to get back to our roots. Get yourself a middle linebacker that can command respect, that can shoot those gaps, make those tackles, get those tackles for loss, get these teams in 3rd and long situations, and then let's go hunt. That's the whole reason why I want Sonny Styles over REESE. Sonny Styles allows your defensive edge rushers that you have here at a premium and go hunt. And if we're hunting, we're winning because we're getting you off the field. You're not going to stop Burns and Thibodeaux and Abdul Carter and Sonny Styles out there and Dexter Lawrence. You're not going to do it. Our main bane was stopping the run and would allow people to do whatever they wanted to do at any time. But now we're predicting what you're going to do against us. That's what Sonny Styles brings. Love REESE. But if Sonny Styles is there, I'm taking him immediately because we need that middle linebacker. And guess what? If Sonny Styles comes and he is good at middle linebacker, maybe your other middle linebacker can go and make some plays as well.
1 minute.
And that's another thing, Coach. You keep hitting me with bars. 1 minute. Aren't you tired of these teams going down the field in 1 minute because we can't cover the middle of the field? Guess what? Sonny Styles helped you do that. He was a safety. He knows how to cover. He could get underneath that tight end or underneath that receiver, slot receiver in the middle of the field, and don't give up a 25-yard play in the middle of the field, then boom, a 65-yard field, because you know all the kickers hit at least 70 yarders against us. He stops that. and he's going to help that out tremendously, man. Sonny Styles at 5, and that's the bottom line, man. Take Sonny Styles, man. That's all I got, Coach.
All right, so now we're done there, and good job by both men. So we're going to move on to the closing round, 3 minutes, and that's going to bring Unpopular Opinion Sports up to take the role. Are you ready, NYG?
Absolutely, man. Look, Sonny Styles, great player, but we talking about the New York Giants, and Pat mentioned the history of the Giants. Well, I'm gonna give you the history when they won, the good history, because we all got this, recency bias. That's why we talking about Sonny Styles today, because he tore up the combine. But Arvell Reese was in the conversation way before that. My point being is, look at the Giants' history. When they won that Super Bowl in 2011, Michael Boley, a player they didn't draft, and they signed through free agency. First Super Bowl, Antonio Pierce, who everyone loves. The Giants don't have to go and draft a middle linebacker at 5. They just don't. Now, you want to talk about doing something different? Yeah, we trying to do something different from what this recent regime was doing. Not from the core Giants history. We trying to get back to that. We're trying to get back to rushing the pass and stopping the run and running the football. That's what we trying to get back to. And the way you do that is you keep pass rushers and edge rushers out there on the field to tear quarterbacks up. You know what? Middle linebackers, I'm not saying a guy like Sonny Styles grows on trees. Hell no. He's a special talent. But you can fill the middle of your defense competently. And bro, you even gave me somebody that could do that in the middle rounds. That's Jack Kelly. So I don't need to take Sonny Styles. I can get Arvell Reese and Jack Kelly or another linebacker in the middle rounds and really have a hell of a defense, because that position can be solved in a more efficient way. And I get it. It is a sore spot. But remember, Bobby Okereke was playing very well in Wink Martindale's defense, a defense that is going to be a style of defense that the Giants are going to be trying to get back to with this new defensive coordinator, Denard Wilson. Coach, what I got on time? See, you got Coach back there muted. That's why I can't hear him.
I said 30 seconds. 30
yeah,
seconds.
But I couldn't hear him because he had you in the back. But it's all good. But that's it, man. We got to take the best player available. We can't be drafting for position just because we need a middle linebacker, and the middle linebacker position has been a sore spot for some years. Nah, bro. Take BPA on this roster right here. Arvell Reese is that dude. We know it.
Time's up.
Got it.
All right, Big Pat. You're on the platform now. Are you ready?
Yes, sir. All right. So I guess my time has started. Listen. I'm not one of these guys that just hop on a train because I've seen a guy do something at the combine. You know me, I do my studies and I do my film, and I've watched Sonny Styles play pretty much the whole year. We got the edge rushers already. Let's just keep it a buck. We got 3 of them. So unless you're planning on getting rid of some edge rushers, I don't see why you need to take Arvell Reese when you have a guy that can complete your defense. That's what I'm saying. This is not a reach of a middle linebacker because, we need to know this guy can complete my defense. If I could put Sonny Styles out there with Abdul Carter and I could play them both at inside linebacker on first downs and let Kayvon Thibodeaux and Burns and Dexter Lawrence do their thing and let those two monsters go sideline to sideline. That's what I'm thinking. Or when it comes to getting after the quarterback on third downs, I got Sonny Styles. I could kick Kayvon Thibodeaux inside and let Burns and Abdul Carter rush off the edge and still have Sonny Styles in the middle that can guard guard a receiver, can guard a tight end, can get those tackles on the outside with the running backs to stop those first downs from happening. That's what I'm talking about. He completes us. This is not just about just because he did a 43-inch vertical, which is amazing for his size. This is about completing your whole defense. That front seven has a monster at each level now. What are you going to do if we can stop the run as the Giants defense? You're not going to be able to do too much. You're not. It's just point blank. Dexter Lawrence drawing double teams, Abdul Carter being one-on-one, Brian Burns being one-on-one, Thibodeaux being one-on-one.
1 minute.
And then you got Sonny Styles behind it. And just like you can get another linebacker in the later rounds, I can get another edge rusher in the later rounds. There's plenty of them. There's plenty of them. Go look him up. The guy from Michigan, you could probably get him in the third round more. Another beast. Even though, well, we don't have a third round pick, so you can trade up back in the third round if you wanted to and get another edge rusher. Hell, take another edge rusher in the second round. If you need another edge rusher that bad. But we don't have middle linebackers. Who are middle linebackers? We complain about these middle linebackers all year long, bro. Let's go ahead and get this middle linebacker and let's complete this defense. At least the front seven is complete. That's what I'm bringing to the table. This ain't no, oh, this dude did this at the combine. He's great. No, I ain't one of them cats.
Time's up. All right, there you have it. You have the debate from both gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, there in the chat, who do you think made a more succinct argument? Was it Unpopular Opinion Sports for Arvell Reese, or was it Big Pat Sports Talk for Sonny Styles? Now, take your personal opinions out of the equation. Just base it off of their arguments. Who do you think won? Make sure you put it there in the chat, or if you're rewatching this, put it in the comment section. So there you have it. So we're going to prepare to move on to the second topic for debate, and that is, should the New York Giants trade Kayvon Thibodeaux? Last time, Unpopular Opinion Sports went first. This time, Big Pat Sports Talk is going to go first. So, Pat, which side are you taking?
I'm saying you can trade Kayvon Thibodeaux.
All right, so there you have it. So Pat is going to be for trading, and NYG is going to be for keeping. So, Big Pat, you're up first. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Now.
All right, so we just got off the Sonny Styles, Arvell Reese. And so now we on to one of those edge rushers that we talked about previously, and that's Kayvon Thibodeaux. So I'm saying, look, there's been a lot of talk about Kayvon Thibodeaux, and there's been some talk in the building with John Harbaugh and those guys, and they say, hey, look, they may take what they could get for Kayvon Thibodeaux. And I'm saying, look, if you are looking to trade him, go ahead and do it. Reason why, you get somebody like Sonny Styles in the first round, there's plenty of other edge rushers that you could bring in that could be that third edge rusher off the edge. It truly is. And you can pay him way less money. And I'm only saying trade Kayvon Thibodeaux if the man does not want to be here and you have a different plan. See, most Ravens teams, they don't have three premier edge rushers. Really, they only really have one. Like Matthew Judon, or back in the day when they had Peter Bullware and, you know, those Super Bowl years. They had linebackers when they were winning Super Bowls. They had linebackers when they won the last Super Bowl with John Harbaugh. They did. So if you could trade Kayvon Thibodeaux, get yourself, maybe somebody gives you a second round pick, maybe a second or third round pick. I'm not trading them for anything less. But let's just say you get a second round pick. Now you got 2 second round picks. Now you can go and get a position to where you're not as stacked as you are at the edge, because you can even bring Chauncey Golston to be the third edge. We still got him on a decent contract. So what if I could get that second round pick and I could get somebody like a Chris Bell, a receiver from Louisville, who may drop to the second round? Or maybe I could get that safety from Toledo that played with our boy Alexander McNeil in the second round. Now I get Sonny Styles and McNeil. And the only thing I had to do was lose Thibodeaux, who may not even want to be here. If you keep it a buck, that the drafting of Abdul Carter, that might play with his psyche a little bit. You know what I'm saying? He's a prideful man. So I don't know. And if that's true, Iman, then yeah, you got to trade him to get a premium for him. I'm saying, if somebody offers you a second round pick for Kayvon Thibodeaux, I don't think there's no way you should turn that away, and you could use that pick to go get another premium position. Maybe we could get a dominant offensive guard in the second round. Maybe an offensive guard drops in the second round, and then it saves you from having to pay him $30 million while giving Brian Burns $30 million. And then Abdul Carter going to back that up in 2 years, and he probably going to have to get $40-something million. So are you willing to pay over $100 million in the edge room within the next 2 to 3 years? If so, you keep him. If not, you trade him while the iron is hot. And he was balling before he got hurt. I'm going to keep it a buck. He was stopping that run, and he was getting after people before he got hurt. But you got to take his injury history into account. You got to take his production into account. And you got to take the what can I get for him if I do trade him. If I'm able to get a safety like that McNeil kid in the second round, or a Chris Bell, or if a receiver that's supposed to go in the first round drops to the second round, I'm definitely considering it. You have to. Because that's a smart thing to do. Are you willing to pay Kayvon Thibodeaux premium money at the edge position because he is on his 5th-year option? If that answer is no, you have to trade him now. Now, will he be a pivotal part of this team moving forward? Yes, I do think so. But if you're not going to pay him that money, you got to get what you can for him right now. And if we do lose Kayvon Thibodeaux, I don't think it's the end of the world. Yes, he's a very good player. Yes, he's one of our top edge rushers, maybe even one of our top defensive players. So that's why I think you might be able to garner a second round pick. I'm really not even doing it for a third, if you're going to be honest. But if I can get a second round pick, I'm heavily considering it. And I'm like 85-15 if you offer me a second, because I could turn that second into whatever I want to turn it into. And I just think it's the right move. If you feel Kayvon Thibodeaux is not worth top 10, top 5 edge rusher money, is he worth as much as Brian Burns, who had 16.5 sacks last year and who was an absolute monster, considered a defensive player of the year candidate for much of the year? Is he on that level? Because he's going to be asked to get paid on that level. And I hope that his attitude hasn't changed because Abdul Carter has came and now he's sharing snaps with Abdul Carter. I hope that hasn't happened, because when he's on his game, I'll be honest with you, he's a good one. And I would hate to lose that. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, like Iman said, it is the market. So you're going to have to pay him $30 million plus. I believe that. No way you're getting Kayvon Thibodeaux on a multi-year contract under $30 million a year. So, man, that's my whole take on it. Trade Kayvon Thibodeaux. If you could get a second round pick for him, I'm trading him. That's the way I'm going. You can take the rest of my time, Coach.
Okay. You're done it with 1 minute left on the clock. So there you have it. And NYG, You're next. Are you ready?
All right.
Starts now.
All right. Trading Kayvon Thibodeaux. I'm gonna say don't trade Kayvon Thibodeaux because what is Giants fans always complaining about? Your stars and your players that you drafted going to other places and performing in other places. Keep the talent that you drafted on your roster. You paid the talent that's in the building. Now, if he wasn't talented, you just said he's a talented player. We all agree. Now, this $30 million, I don't know. Kayvon Thibodeaux. Let's look at Kayvon Thibodeau's. Look, Kayvon Thibodeaux played 10 games last year. He's coming off an injury. So, first of all, you're not getting a second-round pick for him. You're not going to necessarily have to pay him $30 million a year. I don't know where those numbers are coming from, but I'm a realist, and I don't play that type of game. So let me throw up the share screen real quick. And 10 games, 2.5 sacks. Was that 13 tackles for his career? 53 games, 23.5 sacks, 86 solo tackles, 6 forced fumbles. So pretty not too bad overall career wise. But that 2025 season, remember, we're talking about recency bias, right? So we don't want to do that. We don't want to do recency bias again and let that play into our decisions here. Because I don't necessarily believe that teams view Kayvon Thibodeaux as that type of passer. He's a great run defender. That's one thing that I don't think Brian Burns and Abdul Carter necessarily give you. So maybe not great, but decent. He's the best one on your team, I think, from the edge position. And so you got to keep that around. You said in the first argument, you want to, fill out this roster, the missing pieces. So if you take Kayvon Thibodeaux off the team, now, you got to hope Abdul Carter develops into that dude from a run, setting the edge, a run defender standpoint. Or you can have all of them because you already got them in the building. This one to me is easy. First of all, you already picked his 5th-year option up. He's on the team already. If you would have got a second-round pick, you would already got a second-round pick for him. They might be getting offered a 4th, to be honest with you. That's why he hasn't moved yet. And I'm not trading Kayvon Thibodeaux for no 4th-round pick. And all this about him not being, that's all rumors. This dude went to Oregon. He's very intelligent. And intelligent dudes are also about their money. Saquon Barkley showed you that. I would view him personality-wise in a similar light. He wants to be great. He wants to also have his value. He wants to get paid. But again, the market dictates that. Like Iman said. So is the market going to dictate $30 million for a dude that had 2.5 sacks and played 10 games? And the Giants, we already talked about it. Matthias Kiwanuka, they had him on the roster. Like you keep the pass rushers. What we just mentioned in the first argument. Now we're talking about getting rid of a pass rusher. Like, no, we don't get rid of these guys. We got to keep adding them. That's what's hurt the Giants. They don't replenish their talent correctly. And if you're talking about paying guys, you pay the best players on your team. You ain't paying nobody in the secondary, that damn secondary, except those two bums that you signed that you need to get off this team, and Thibodeaux and Holland. That was a Joe Shane mistake, but maybe that's for another debate. Don't keep making that mistake. Pay your guys. Don't go out and get other players from other teams. And let your players from your teams go to other teams and perform. What's my time, Coach?
You have 1 minute and 20 seconds.
All right. Now, again, we know that John Harbaugh is one of those dudes that is respected. If you do have any character concerns about Kayvon Thibodeaux, I don't think you're going to have them with John Harbaugh in the building. And I don't think Kayvon Thibodeaux has character concerns. I think a lot of this stuff is Twitter nonsense blowing up in the media. I don't even see the mainstream media really talking about it like that. Kayvon Thibodeaux's fine. He's coming off an injury. Let him get healthy. Let him go out there and shine. And yes, give him his money. Pay your guys. That way you don't got to trade third-round picks for Brian Burns while you complain why you don't got a third-round pick this shit. So you should keep trading for other players because you don't pay your players. And you don't develop them. Keep KT. I'm good.
All right, done with 15 seconds left. And we're going to go ahead and move on to the second round. That'll be 5 minutes for the rebuttal. First up will be Big Pat Sports Talk. Big Pat, are you ready?
Yes, sir. I'm ready.
Time starts now.
So, second round, very good haymaker thrown by NYG in the very first round. And I have to admit, that has been the Giants' problem. We haven't kept the talent here when we had them here. Absolute fact. But when we were doing that, we didn't have people behind those people that could come in and play like we do at the edge rusher position. So I'm looking at, let's see, top edge rushers that are being paid in the league right now. You got Micah Parsons at 46, Hutchinson at 45, TJ Watt at 41, Myles Garrett at 40. Then it takes a little dip, 35. Max Crosby 35, Nick Bosa 34, Trey Hendrickson getting 29 this year, Hines Allen getting 28 million, Brian Burns getting 28 million. That's your top 10. Now, is Thibodeaux better than Nick Benito? No. Montez Sweat? No. Rashawn Gary? No. Van Ginkel? Same level. Karlaftis, same level. Greg Russo, definitely on that level. Josh Sweat. So let's just say I said 30 million because the top player is getting 46 million. But based on this, he's probably going to be somewhere between, and you know the market always goes up, between the $25 to $26 million range. That's probably where he's going to be at. And when you're already paying Brian Burns $28 million, and you already got Abdul Carter, who's going to get a huge contract when he comes up. I don't know, man. And the way this market goes, let's say he has a good season. You don't think that man's going to command more than 30 million? If let's say he gets a 12 sack to 13 to 14 sack season. Now you're going to be on the hook to maybe pay this guy more than Brian Burns, and a significant amount more than Brian Burns. Then you might lose him for free. Because if you franchise him, that's going to be around 40 million. That's the price that you don't want to pay. So I'm thinking about this towards the future. And don't misquote me as saying I'm saying Kayvon Thibodeaux is a problem. I'm saying I hope he doesn't have an issue with losing snaps to Abdul Carter on the edge at times. I hope he doesn't. It didn't look like he showed it last year, and he's a smart man. And like my opponent says, Kayvon Thibodeaux is about his money, bro. It's about his brand. Just like Saquon Barkley was about his money and his brand, and look where he did. He left for free. So all I'm saying is, if you're not willing to fork up more money than Brian Burns for Kayvon Thibodeaux, you have to seriously consider it to get something now while you can, because he's on his 5th-year option. There's no more 5th-year option after this. It's either franchise tag or he walks. And the franchise tag for edge rusher has got to be at least $35 million. It's got to be, because of the Micah Parsons contract. So if you're not willing to pay a huge premium like that, chat, are you willing to pay Nick Bosa money for Kayvon Thibodeaux, $34 million? Let's just say Trey Hendrickson money, $29 million. His own counterpart, Brian Burns, are you willing to pay $28 million? That's the question you have to ask yourself.
1 minute.
So I'm not saying you got to trade Kayvon Thibodeaux because he's a bad player and he sucks and all this garbage. No, I'm saying if you're John Harbaugh and that staff, and you know if this guy has a good to decent year, he's going to command at least $30 million. Are you willing to pay that? Because if you're not, you're going to lose him for nothing. That's all I'm saying. But y'all got it.
All right, so there you have it. And I'm going to end this here. And NYG, you're now up.
All right, man. Look
Time
here.
starts now.
Look here, man. I get it. We talking about money. And Iman, I actually wrote that. That's crazy. I actually wrote that on my paper. Salary cap goes up. It's going up. And so those salaries you showed, those are going to get bumped up. And Kayvon Thibodeaux is going to come below a lot of those players. We already went down the list. Is he better than even the guy on his team, Brian Burns, who's making $28 million? So even if you're getting him at $30 million, and say the top pass rushers at that point are making 50, 55, then that's a bargain. That's a bargain, because you're not paying Abdul Carter right now. So yes, you can pay 2 edge rushers. And we talking about contract structure. You know how they structure these deals. You can get out these deals early if you need to. And they got other people in the building in case y'all was worried about Joe Shane. So you got Don Upon in there. You got John Harbaugh. So they're going to know how to structure these deals and get the best players in there. The best value, I mean. So contract structure is a big part of this. People talk about this cap thing like it really has a ceiling. These owners have billions of dollars. They have ways to work around these things. The Saints been doing it for years. The Cowboys play cap tricks. The Eagles play cap tricks. How you think they paying all they Super Bowl players? Still keeping the team together. Well, it's about to fall apart, but they kept it together for a damn long time, paying all those guys money. All those guys on the offensive and defensive line was getting paid, bro. What? Yeah, pay Kayvon Thibodeaux. Shit, who else you gonna pay? You already talking about the linebackers. You ain't paying them bums. You ain't paying nobody in the secondary. You can get rid of them other dudes after next year. Yes. You ain't paying Carter. You ain't paying Malik Neighbors. You ain't paying Jackson Dart. You ain't paying Cam Scatterbo. Who are you going to pay? Pay my dude KT, bro. He is what you need. And guess what? You paying these guys now, they can set the standards. Yeah, the Giants paid me. I'm still here. I'm doing my thing. Why you think they keeping Darius Slayton around? Cats like that. If you paying Slayton, you ain't gonna pay Kayvon Thibodeaux? What? Y'all hate Slayton. That's my guy, but y'all hate him. So we not worried about the money, man, at all. You know, you might question whether his head is in the game. I don't, but if people do, okay, you can make an argument. You some questionable things he does, but don't argue about this money thing. Cap going up, and you got contract structure that you could work around. What's my time?
1 minute, 20 seconds.
So, look, man. Kayvon Thibodeaux should and will be a New York Giant for the foreseeable future. Because you can't keep doing this. You said it in the first debate.
1 minute.
You can't keep repeating the same thing, letting your players go to other places and play for other teams and perform at a high level when you got these guys already in the building. And we already talked about how he fits schematically, adding the run defense, setting the edge, and giving you pass rush. And you drafted him high. Do you want to waste another draft pick that you drafted five overall? No. I think this one is over, bro. You got it.
All right. 20 seconds to spare. All right. So now we're going to move on to the final round, the closing round. So 3 minutes is all set. Big Pat, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Time starts now.
All right. Hey, listen, man. Time is now. First and foremost, don't take my argument out of context. I never said that the Giants couldn't pay him. I said, did they want to pay him? You see what I'm saying? Do you want to pay a Kayvon Thibodeaux with those stats that you just said in the very beginning? He has underwhelmed as far as being a top 5 pick. He has. He's been injured, and he hasn't produced the way that you have wanted him to produce, even though I still believe he's a very good player. It's just not shown on the stat sheet because of situations of being mismanaged and not played correctly. But yes, he is a hell of a run defender. But like I said, if you don't feel like he's worth $30 million, which he will command, because when the salary cap goes up, everybody else's money goes up. It's just a fact. You have some players that's like, how the hell is he making more? How is anybody making more money than Myles Garrett, who just broke the sack record? And not only is Michael Parsons making more money than him, he's making a substantial more money than him. Over $5 million plus. And they signed a contract in the same offseason. It's just the way that it goes. So don't take my argument out of context. If you like Kayvon Thibodeaux, yes, you pay him. You took him 5 overall, even though John Harbaugh didn't draft him. Let's keep that in mind. And you know that the money is going to be bloated when he hits the market. So if he has a 10-sack season, which if he does, I think we had a hell of a season. If you don't feel like you're willing to pay him top 10 edge rush money, you have to make a decision now. Because it's going to be the same thing. It's going to be the same thing over again. The whole Saquon Barkley saga where you lose him for nothing. Because if you're not willing to pay him $30 million, you're damn sure not going to put him on a franchise tag for $35 to $38 million. And guess what? He walks for free again. Xavier McKinney, walk for free. Julian Love, walk for free. Saquon Barkley, walk for free. I'm trying to stop you from doing the same thing if you don't have that faith in them. But take my argument out of context and continue forward. I like Kayvon Thibodeaux. I want him here. But if you're not willing to pay him that money, you better do something now. You better do something now. That's all I got.
All right, 10 seconds to spare. All right, NYG, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Your time starts now.
All right. Not taking the argument out of context. We're just talking about money. You're talking about paying a guy. And I'm saying that you're not going to have to pay him top of the market money anyway. That's why I gave you the stats. You ain't going to have to pay him that much. And I think he's smart enough to know that. Does he want as much as he can get? Yeah. And should you give that to him? Yes, because you got to keep some type of loyalty to your players. Why you think the Giants on this report was ranked 25th on the bottom third of the league as far as a franchise overall is concerned, voted on by the players? It was voted on by the players. Why? Because of stuff like this. You letting guys walk and, you general managers backstabbing and play and all kind of ratchet stuff. Stuff been exposed. That's what they're trying to get rid of. So yeah, pay your guy in good faith, because he's been a good player. Has he been an outstanding player for you? A top? No. But let me give you this real quick, because man, we gonna cook. This Giants Battlegrounds, y'all hit that motherfucking like button. 11.5 sacks in 2023. Stats. So he has performed. Now, the defense of coordinator was ass. We all know that. But when he had a D coordinator from who? Baltimore, 11.5 sacks. You pay Kayvon Thibodeaux.
1 minute.
Give him what he want. I'm not saying break the bank, but you ain't gonna have to. Now, if he does have another season like that, maybe so. But again, it's gonna be worth it anyway, because you can't never have enough pass rushes. I told you that. You got it.
All right, 35 seconds left. So there you have it. Should the New York Football Giants trade Kayvon Thibodeaux or not? Make sure you guys in the comment section put in your vote. Did Big Pat Sports Talk win this, or Unpopular Opinion Sports Talk, did he win this? Take your emotional context and just base it off of their argument. That's it. Not what you think, what you feel, what you want. Strictly off of their argument. Also, if you're watching this later, leave a comment so we know, because we'll come back and we'll check this out for you. So there you have it. First episode of Giants Battleground. And if you have someone you want to debate on the New York Football Giants, reach out and let them know so they can bring you up and set the stage. So there you have it. All right, gentlemen, how do you feel?
Feel like I threw some haymakers in there. The very first round, man. I don't care what nobody say. I won that first round. And I took the hard road. I took saying trade Kayvon Thibodeaux, even though I said draft Sonny Styles because of a guy like Kayvon. That's what I do. I debate. I think I threw haymakers in that second round. You know what I'm saying? The second debate. You might go with NYG because he's the stats guy. He shows, hey, I got the facts and I got this, I got that, and I'm NYG. I'm unpopular, and I say what I want to say when I want to say it. So this is a great debate show. I think I won. You know what I'm saying? Hey, if you want to knuckle up again, we can knuckle up again.
Y'all pull up. Look,
all right,
man.
All right.
It was a great debate. Definitely you know, I didn't really want to take that Sonny Styles angle because that was a tough one, and it was on the fly because the original debate was Jeremiah Love, and I was ready to cook on that one.
Man, come on, man.
So yeah, you might have caught me a little off guard on that one, but Kayvon Thibodeaux thing, I got you there, man.
I mean, you know, go ahead,
for the
coach.
people to decide. It's not you guys got it. You're gonna feel confident
That's
in your
right.
debate. That's the way it should be. But it's for the people. They're gonna be the final judge. So
That is
you're
correct.
Right there.
So, hey, look, this has been the first episode of New York Giants Battlegrounds with yours truly, Big Pat Sports Talk, unpopular opinion sports with Coach handling, you know, the debate as far as the host. And we just want to show you guys, hey, look, you want to debate, you got something to say about the New York Giants, bring it to Giants Battlegrounds, man, and let's have real debates. Real debate format, no interruptions. You see me and NYG, we got to say everything that we wanted to say with no interruptions, and that's what we want here, real debates. Bring your facts, bring your stats, bring your video, bring everything you need to bring to get in this ring, man. Hey, that rhyme.
Bars.
So, Coach, you got any last things to say before we get out of here, man?
No, great job by both of you gentlemen. Great interaction by those in the chat. So appreciate everyone. So that's pretty much it.
All right, man. This has been Giants Battlegrounds right here on the Aboriginal Sports Network. Hit that goddamn like button, like NYG says, and that subscribe button. And to the next Battlegrounds, y'all know what time it is. Peace. Debate will never be the same. This is New York Giants Battlegrounds.